Welcome to National Focus. I'm Kimani. Coming up, government breaks ground for third apartment in Silver Lake. Remarkable progress at Cabrits Resorts Kempinski, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs develops plans to build climate resilience in seeds. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Thank you for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit and his cabinet visited the site of the Cabrits Resorts Kempinski on Wednesday. The nation's leader took the opportunity to view the progress of the project since he and his cabinet last visited in October of 2016. The Cabrits Resorts Kempinski is the first five-star hotel financed under the Citizenship by Investment program and is located at the Douglas Bay in Portsmouth. Following the tour, Honorable Skerrit gave his impression of the project.
The government is very pleased with the progress, the quality of work, the efforts of the contractor, the efforts of the developers range, and we are very excited about the completion, which has been set for end of 2018. Now, clearly this is a major investment in the economy, having a major impact on job creation, also the procurement of goods and services. A lot of shops in the area are benefiting. There are persons who have called me and indicated to me prior to range coming in, they had difficulties in stocking up, and now they have to be stocking up almost every week to keep with the purchases being made. For us to take Dominica to the next level, we have to introduce these kind of developments in our country. Not only a hotel, but something which complements the environment, which promotes our eco-tourism program, but bringing in the internationally branded names into Dominica.
The Honorable Prime Minister thanked the developers of the hotel Range Developments for a good working relationship. Director of Range Developments, Mohammed Azaria, noted the tremendous benefit this investment will bring to the island. He also highlighted his observations of the country's development.
I think in the last 10 weeks since the last visit of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, an incredible amount of progress has been made. We were on the ground floor then, and now some of the buildings have roof gables being put on them. So Range, NH, we've committed to opening this hotel and completing construction in the shortest time possible. All efforts are going to be put on to achieving an end 2018 completion date. I've been in Dominica for the last 48 hours, and it's very remarkable and apparent the change which has taken place since I first started coming to Dominica about 3 years ago. The hotel I was staying in was full. The restaurant I went to dinner on the last 2 nights was full. The plane was full. The town was brimming with tourists. I heard on the radio yesterday there was a groundbreaking. The hospital is under construction. So it's lovely to see the whole economy working in unison and growing, and that economic impact, whether that's direct economic impact or indirect economic impact, being felt throughout the whole country.
GIS will bring you a more comprehensive report of that visit in Thursday's newscast. Government is keeping its promise to advance the construction of an apartment building complex to house families of Silver Lake who lost their homes in December 2016 as a result of a fire. The Roosevelt Skerrit-led administration moved in less than 24 hours after the disaster and put in place a number of interventions to assist the 20 families who were affected. On Tuesday, government held an official groundbreaking ceremony to signal commencement of work on Phase 3 of the Silver Lake Housing Development Project. this less than 2 months after the fire. The Honorable Minister for Housing, Reginald Austri, who was also acting Prime Minister at the time of the ceremony, noted that it was always government's intention to build 4 apartments for the Silver Lake community in phases. However, he says work had to be sped up as a result of the fire.
From 2011, the plan was always to construct 4 buildings. Always that was the plan. And so we started with building number 1, we started with building number 2, and then we had to move on to building number 3. And had building number 2 been completed in time, the fire would have not met the building. That building would have been demolished and work would have started. And maybe now we might even be nearing the completion of that 3rd building, and probably work would begin on the 4th building. The contractor for this building is a renowned contractor from the area, from the General Rose area, Mr. Henderson. And we're asking Mr. Henderson, who is here today with us, to move quickly and speedily to bring some level of normalcy to the lives of the people of Silver Lake in accordance with the wishes of the government of Dominica and Reverse Kerry.
The housing minister says the construction of these buildings are not isolated but forms part of government's ongoing housing revolution program. Housing manager Hilarion Jules gave full details of the project.
Like phase 1 and phase 2, the new building will be disposed over 3 floors. The phase 3 apartment complex will see the construction of 6 one-bedroom units on the ground floor. So the building will be constructed essentially right where we are now, and there will be 6 one-bedroom units on the ground floor. Between phase 2 and phase 3, there will be a roadway some 16 or so feet wide. Therefore, it allows us to have entry to 3 units on the northern side and 3 units on the southern side on the ground floor. Then we will move on with the staircases, and at the middle floor level there will be 3 two-bedroom units, as well as the top floor there will be 3 two-bedroom units.
Member of Parliament for the Roseau South constituency, Joshua Francis, thanked government of Dominica on behalf of his constituents.
I must say that we are very happy that the government of Dominica, in meeting its role, is in fact providing the facilitation for the construction of this apartment, which is phase 3 of a housing project to develop and enhance the quality of life for the Silver Lake people. As a parliamentary representative, I'm very much aware that the people of Silver Lake want an improvement in the quality of life, and the groundbreaking ceremony this afternoon basically will assist in the furtherance of the improvement of the lives of the people. I call on the residents of the Silver Lake community to provide support and assistance in the process of the construction of the building. Make sure that you help to protect the equipment being used by the constructors. In whatever way you can help, provide security.
12 families will be housed in this apartment complex, while the other 8 families affected by the fire will be housed in the phase 2 building, which is nearing completion. Contract for the $1.6 million project was signed between government and AK Henderson Construction. It is expected to be complete in 6 months. In more news, rethinking development options for building resilience for prosperity in small island developing states is the theme for a 3-day climate change conference, which is being hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs. The conference, which began on Wednesday, is being held at the State House Conference Room. Ambassador and advisor to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Hubert Charles, shared the objectives of the conference.
This climate change conference is an information sharing and capacity building activity that intends to answer several key questions, including the following. What are the resources pledged to small island developing states by the international community under the Paris Agreement? And how should these resources be accessed? Which are the examples of best practice in terms of mobilization of small island developing states for managing appropriate responses to climate change, both at the level of multilateral agencies and within said states?
Honorable Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security Rayburn Blackmore represented the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. In his address, Honorable Blackmore re-emphasized the need for governments build back better and stronger concept. He stated that this is very important for Dominica after being hit by Tropical Storm Erica.
This government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, is up to the task and has been able to demonstrate for you to see our ability to build back a better country. And you may have driven from the airport and you may have said to yourself, you know, the roads look relatively fine. But that demonstrates the amount of work we have been able to do in order to ensure that most of our major arteries have been addressed and made better and more tolerable for all of us to traverse on and to enjoy. It's going to be a very difficult task going forward. But I want to place on record that this government, under the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit, is actually committed in ensuring that this country is built back better.
The Honorable Minister says building Dominica's climate resilience is a major priority for government.
For 2017, the Labour Party administration has been able to execute its plan to build Dominica's climate resilience. For indeed, without that capacity, there will be no prosperity for everyone in this beautiful country. In this regard, therefore, prosperity requires a sustainable, peaceful, and secure environment. And without security, a country cannot prosper and progress. That is why we must view this national resilience and prosperity agenda as an integrated part of the national plan and development agenda for this beautiful country, Dominica.
Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs Francine Barron noted that it is important to tackle the issue of climate change head-on, especially in small island developing states like Dominica.
You will note that there is a strong climate change focus, and this is because climate change not only threatens the environment, but it potentially affects global security and economic prosperity. No doubt, the world recognizes that tackling climate change has now become a top foreign policy priority, a fact which was expressly recognized by a new independent study commissioned by the G7 countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the report warns that problems exacerbated by climate change, including food insecurity, competition for water and land, migration and displacement, could leave fragile states unable to provide for their citizens. We must therefore adapt and find ways to improve our resilience.
She is also of the view that individuals should be educated more on the topic to reduce exposure to climate change.
Therefore, in crafting our strategies for resilience, we must explore ways to inform, educate, and foster greater synergies among our people. The resilience approach seeks to answer the question, what should we do in terms of policy, programs, and practices in order to reduce the exposure of our families, our communities, and ultimately our country to risks and threats already being experienced, as well as those that will only become apparent in the future.
Participants were from overseas missions and consulates from Ministries of Foreign Affairs and various line ministries. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Children, yell and tell. If someone tries to abuse you, tell until someone believes you and they do something about it.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Welcome back. Under the theme Liberties Lost, Freedom Won, the Dominica Library and Information Service officially launched Black History Month 2017 on Wednesday. In attendance of the official opening ceremony was the Honorable Minister for Youth and Culture, Justina Charles, the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Seja, and the Chief Education Officer, Melinda Fontaine. Honorable Minister for Youth and Culture, Justina Charles, says that she believes recognizing Black History Month is important for Dominicans, specifically for the youth, to understand the background of their ancestors as the nation looks at a way forward.
Every year that I know the organizers organize Black History Month, and I think for us in Dominica it's something that is very important, and more so with the young people of the country, so that we can develop, getting to know about the Black history, the Black people, the people who struggled, the people who suffered to bring us where we are. It's important that we understand that so we can develop that appreciation of who we are as a people, where we came from, where we are now, and how we can chart our future based on the history, our own history, the history of our foreparents, the history of all the Black heroes who suffered as a result, and to make sure that they could liberate us and they could make us the free people that we are. It's important.
The Honorable Minister believes that there is much to be learned from Black history and urges young persons to spend time learning of the contributions of their ancestors.
There's so much that we can learn from them, so that it can guide us as to how we deal with certain situations, how we deal with our own life as Black people, how we can liberate ourselves from not just, according to Bob Marley, not just mental slavery, but we liberate ourselves from the things that are not right to help in our development. So I think the organizers of Black History Month, they are doing a very, very good thing. And so I also want to commend Mr. Georges and the library, because I know they work in collaboration, for putting that together. I just would like to encourage our young people to come in, to look at it, to take the books, read it. I know now with internet services all over, people just go online and Google Marcus Garvey, Google anything, and we get it. But if we take the book, we can read it, we look at it, and we can understand, we develop a better appreciation of all of those people and their contribution to our liberation.
Black activist and featured speaker at the launching of Black History Month 2017, Franklin Georges, made a call for the re-educating of the youth of Dominica into building a sense of loyalty to their history and Dominica as their homeland.
Citizens, countrymen, Dominicans, I would ask you, and I don't beg, I ask, I reclaim, I do all those things. Please let us start re-educating our children. We educate them. When they finish, the first thing they want to do is fly away. Let us give them some sense of staying home, of building. Parents, educators, activists, whatever you may call yourself. Please, let's recapture. That word re is a wonderful word. Reclaim, recapture, rebuild. Let us do that to our children, because without a history, there is no roots. Erica taught us that. All those trees and their roots were here, there, and everywhere it went. Let us recapture our children. Let us empower them. Give them something meaningfully that they need, they have to hold, and they could carry on.
Black History Month is an annual celebration of the achievements of Black people and a time for recognizing the role of Black people in the development of world history. Chief Librarian Vananda Raymond says this year the goal of the Dominica Library and Information Service throughout Black History Month is threefold. She also mentioned some of the activities carded for Black History Month.
This year, the Dominica Library Service goal is threefold: to create Black consciousness, to highlight the contribution of our local educators and community personalities, and to inform on Black inventors and inventions. Activities will include radio and television programs, movies for children and adults, talks, one for sure by Dr. Damien Dublin on Black consciousness, and another by Mr. Gregory Rabes on jazz, and that will include some sweet jazzy jazz.
Other activities for Black History Month include outreach to 17 primary schools and 4 secondary schools, bulletin board displays, and an exhibition and debate at the Rosa Public Library. The opening ceremony of Black History Month featured performances by dancers, singers, and player group DSAP, as well as an exhibition of Black history literature. And that's the English segment of the news. Shaakira Pierre is up next with Creole highlights.
Bienvenue à cette nouvelle à Creole. Non, moi, c'est Shaakira Pierre. Ministre Agriculture, Cardi et puis Caribbean Development Bank a tenu un workshop pour 2 jours. Workshop ça là, c'est pour décider si outils système information géographique ça manager maladie Black Sigatoka à banane et puis figue à Dominique. Black Sigatoka c'est une mauvaise maladie qui en figue et puis à banane. Système ça là, c'est un important morceau d'outils pour faire décision à agriculture. Permanent Secretary and Ministre Agriculture Harold Gist parlait et puis nouvel gouvernement contre workshop là.
Aujourd'hui là, nous avons un grand meeting qui a pris en place à UV Center Hodia avec nous avons parlé contre Black Sigatoka avec comment pour nous taper information en les diseases là pour nous aider les habitants qui ont planté figues et bananes. Comment pour eux ça
Gis dit toute famille figue et puis banane qui a tapé maladie ça là. Ministre Agriculture qui a aussi travaillé pour arrêter maladie ça là. Gis aussi parlé contre service système information géographique et puis bénéfice là pour planter.
Nous avons un consultant, M. James Joseph Hot Cardi, qui est venu aujourd'hui là. Nous avons essayé de regarder comment nous ça servi GIS. On voit que c'est ICT pour aider nous pour ça solver le problème ça là parce que fait d'ici ça là maladie ça là il mauvais même il en est bouleversé figue tout bonnement en pays.
Gouvernement a dépensé autant d'argent pour arrêter problème Black Sigatoka en Dominique.
Gouvernement ministère de l'Agriculture a dépensé millions de dollars. Combien de millions de dollars pour ça résolver le problème ça là? Nous n'avons pas petit succès, mais nous pas exactement en situation, en condition nous développer pour contrôler les maladies ça là qu'on nous développer.
En d'autres nouvelles, library et puis service information lancé mois histoire mounoué mercredi semaine ça là. Mois histoire mounoué c'est une célébration qui a point place tous les années pour reconnaître sa mounoué fait en développement l'histoire. Ministre Culture Honorable Justina Charles parle et puis nouvel gouvernement contre mois histoire mounoué.
Black History Month c'est on l'air où la yo ka try indiquer moun en public là contre différents bagailles à moun noir fait comment moun noir ende goumé pour libérer nous horde tout esclavage pour libérer nous tout bitin qui était oppress nous quand yon moun because nous savons moun noir souffert autant because pour yo même moun noir c'était nous t'es plus bas qui moun blanc. So nous savons nous souffrons autant ou style even juste actuellement ou style on partie discrimination qui prend place entre noir avec blanc qui pas really nécessaire because nous tous ces monde mais nous on était content pour ces jeunes monde esprit pour yo ça venir écouter read ces livres là pour yo aller read li so yo que ça apprécier ça monde fait pour faire nous libérer la nuit à présent.
Franklin Georges ni yon passion pour l'histoire. Georges dit nouvel gouvernement est important pour tout le monde connaître l'histoire à yo.
Pour moi, l'histoire en noir, c'est le premier bagage en la terre pour la vie. Pour que tu ne pas connaître l'histoire, ou pas connaître rien, et ou pas savoir là où aller, c'est pied d'autres monde qui a servi. Nous ici, ne pas connaître l'histoire. ça molé c'est mon éducation mon tout partout commencer montrer l'histoire pour nous ça ouais pour ça apprendre yo ça ni toute bagaille si yo pas connaître qui moun yo pas pièce moun.
Et puis finalement, Permanent Secretary et Ministre Agriculture dit yo que fait information available par planter code Black Sigatoka tout suite. Giz di système information géographique que ND Ministre Agriculture garde développement maladie la pli meilleur.
Avec information GIS, nous avons un monde qui s'abat information tout de suite en les comment maladie a plus comment disease la a développé. Mais sans disease on est pour point avant il a venu tout avant sans là. Comme ça là tout petit là quand il fait petit boujon on est pour arrêter. Comme ça GIS système n'a qu'à aider nous pour faire ça. Mais GIS système n'a pas quoi pas assez. Nous les toutes ces femmes là, extension officers, tous ces monde qui occupés avec figues et bananes. Nous les fait ça qu'il faut. Nous laisser femmes là faire du lifting, nous les nettoyer place, yo ni pour faire dalle pour glo passer, yo ni pour spray pour rasier qui a venir en place là.
Ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole. Non moi c'est Shaakira Pierre. Au revoir.
Today we will talk to you about what you can do to better face your fears. A secret of happy people is that they realize that fear is often based on unhelpful interpretation. As humans, we like to look for patterns. The problem is just that we often find negative and not so helpful patterns in our lives based on just one or two experiences or by misjudging situations. Address your fear for what it is, usually a baseless interpretation. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Kimani. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.